What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Matt and Chill, the podcast where we talk about various things about on the internet, about cool shit and like drama and stuff
Cool shit.
and drama stuff. I am
Drama
your
stuff.
host, Matt Nieder, the king, the god. No, that's not true. I'm just joking. I'm like
You're something.
I'm something. I'm something. That's for sure. But I'm acquaintance with my lovely host, Cheese. Say hi.
Hola.
Allah.
I don't know. I just went for it, bro. But yeah.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. This is the second episode of the podcast. I got some good feedback, some maybe negative feedback on the last podcast, which I don't mind. Honestly, it's
I
funny
mean,
to me.
feedback's feedback. Like, in all honesty, like before we do get into the podcast, like if you do have feedback and it's criticism on the way how
Yes,
we're
exactly.
delivering the podcast, let us know. Like, even if you're swearing and you're like, "Oh, this podcast is a piece of shit," or whatever, we're going to take that and be like, "Okay, well, how can we make this better?" We're not going to reply negatively back to you because at the end of the day, that's your opinion.
Exactly.
So we'll read it. We'll take it as a constructive criticism, no matter what you say,
I mean, we
because
have we have been on the internet for way too long to actually
yeah,
get mad
yeah.
over opinions and shit because everyone got in their own opinion, right?
Like
Cheese.
you've got, yeah, exactly, and you've got a lot more than just one person on the internet. And there's many people, and a lot worse people that can sit there and comment on your stuff. But if someone's giving you the time to watch it and they're giving you an opinion, and even just leaving a comment, to me, that's giving you attention. So at the end of the day, I appreciate the attention you're giving us to the podcast. We're trying to do our best with it, and we've got a lot of things and a lot of ideas in the
Mm-hmm.
process to see what we can do with it, which we will.
And we
Uh,
have like a really dope idea for near future,
yeah.
distant future. Let us keep it realistic and let's say we're just gonna be like on a slow pace. We'll just keep growing and growing and growing on a slow
I'm.
pace. But whatever. I mean, we don't
I mean, the
care. We do.
closest. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Sorry.
We just love the podcast feeling and stuff. We have been fan of both me and Cheese are fan of Optic Hex, which does an amazing podcast every like not every week I think,
Oh yeah. He
but
tries to do as much as he can because he's
as
a
much
very
as he
busy
can.
guy. But
But like or like the Flycast from Hitch and Maniac, they just do it them both. So I mean, I want to give like that's just one person or like two persons' opinions. I want to my content is wanting to be like spread out more, like give more people opinions and
yeah.
shit, and that's what me and Cheese then are doing because we also have a good chemistry and we can talk for hours on end, and yeah,
Oh,
and
easy.
we easily have different opinions about stuff, so that brings good diversity in this system. So yeah, but
I
that was
mean,
that's now
like from.
go
Uh,
go.
from our last podcast, I had an opinion on the Tifu and the Tifu face situation. Right, if you did watch it, but if you didn't, go check it out. Link in the description.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got another podcast with my friend Mikey, which is the Tip Top and Talk podcast. And my opinion changed because I found out a little bit more information about it. So, I mean, just because I found out that little bit more information, you got a completely different reaction from me and a completely different perspective on the situation. Like, I changed sides completely. And
Oh.
I'm stuck there. So, if you want to check that out,
It
maybe
will be
Matt will
linked in
put
the
the link in
description.
the description. But I don't want to like plug it, but it's
Nah, nah, nah.
just
It's
how I
fine.
want
It's
to.
fine. I mean,
It's
you
just
take
how I
time.
want to say it. It's like
You take
the
time out of your
opinions
day
change all the time.
to come on my podcast and like talk shenanigans about shit. So I mean, it's fair dues. Um. So right, we got two topics right now. We can maybe go on like even longer if we have to, or we can too.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah.
First one is the crossplay. You messaged me earlier today
Yeah.
thinking like, "Yo, what's your opinion on the whole crossplay thing?" And I have a lot of mixed opinions about this, so I think we just get it started.
Yeah, totally. So, how this started actually was I was actually in the shop, and the only reason this sparked the conversation was I noticed this guy was wearing a Gears of War cap, and all I says to him was like, "Oh, so you're a gamer?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." What
Mm-hmm.
did you think about the crossplay situation? You know, I was like, "Do you think that these two consoles are going to collide?" And then he says, "Well, Microsoft and Sony are already like made a cloud gaming service, or are planning to make a cloud gaming service for next generation for crossplay kind of stuff, and it's because of the Stadia, which we will be getting into later on in the podcast." And he didn't tell me much about it because he didn't have much time. But I thought, like, I sat there in my work and researched it a little bit. And there's not much on it right now because obviously there's not a name on it. There's not this. There's not that. All we know is there's a picture and that two guys have shook hands. You know, that's
And the
all we really know.
controller or
But
something. Like I saw when I looked
that's
it
for
up
the Stadia.
real quick. Yeah, that's for
That's
the
for the,
Stadia. Oh yeah, that's for the
yeah,
Stadia. Okay, 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 okay,
yeah.
okay.
That's for the Stadia, which we'll
Yeah,
get on to
yeah,
later
yeah.
on.
For
But with this crossplay situation, I just think it would be a lot better if Microsoft or Sony even, because Microsoft are open to share all their games,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which they've already said, you know, well, apart from exclusives. But even
Yeah,
though
yeah,
we
yeah.
say apart from exclusive, Gears of War's on the PC, Halo 5's on the PC,
Really,
you know,
that is.
Forza, I don't know, well, Halo 5 Forge, the Forge is on the PC, so you can create your own maps in that,
Oh, okay, got it.
or Halo 5.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
Forza 7, Forza Horizon 4, uh, what's his name? The little guy. Ah, Cuphead.
Oh yeah.
Cuphead. Cuphead's like cross compatible. Sea of Thieves. You know, like, there's a lot of cross-platform games. Also, they're exclusives, but you need to remember Microsoft also is pretty much the head of PC as well. You know, so
You were lagging
my
there for a
issue
bit,
is,
by the way, Cheese. Just to
oh,
tell you,
okay.
give you a heads up.
Uh, so yeah, they Microsoft is pretty much the owners of PC as well, so they can pretty much do anything they want. Well, Windows, you know, they
Mm-hmm.
run Windows, so they can do whatever they want. But I want your opinion because you're a PlayStation user,
mm-hmm.
obviously. Why do PlayStation not crossplay?
Uh, well, basically, I think if I think personally, it's just because to keep the rivalry there, and like exactly what. Because I also think that Sony is like, we really want to keep our exclusives because like some of the exclusives, like you said, like Forza and shit, you can actually play on PC.
Uh-huh.
Which in that case, like for instance, God of War, which is one of the better, or like Uncharted, or like
Which are absolutely outstanding games.
which are
Spider-Man,
Spider Man, are like outstanding games.
Horizon.
But yeah, Horizon exactly. And wait, is it Horizon?
Yeah, Horizon's a PS4 exclusive.
No way, I actually did not know that shit.
Horizon Zero Dawn, Killzone, like there's so much. The Last of Us, the fucking Last of Us.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay,
mean? That's all you
yeah,
have to say.
yeah.
You know.
So I think that's just like basically we don't, or they don't want to have accessibility to that PC platform as well, even though that would be good for the gaming community, and like a whole bunch of different gamers to bring, like, I don't know, like the feeling of it without buying the console. But still, it's like it's Sony's baby. Sony is like, like really strict on their rules, I guess. Where though Microsoft, because that's also like a point, then pretty much Microsoft can also be then, oh, if it's on PC, we can burn it on a disc and we can like
Totally.
do it on our platform as well, which some of the games will should not be able to do that.
Yeah, and I totally get that, but this is the point that you're missing. If a developer signs a contract with Sony, right,
Mm-hmm.
that is an exclusive to Sony. That's all it is. I mean, you need to remember Metal Gear Solid. You know what I mean? Metal Gear Solid came out first as a Nintendo exclusive, if you didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I kind
It
of
was
knew that.
only on the Nintendo platforms, and then it jumped to PlayStation for Metal Gear Solid 1,
But that's
2,
also
3.
because like it's Japanese. It's also like Nintendo and
Dark Souls is Japanese.
like Nintendo and Sony are both Japanese companies, where though Microsoft is fully American,
Yeah.
and
But what
Xbox, to my knowledge, is also fully American. So I think that's just
yeah.
the thing with that with the Eastern culture. Wait, is it Eastern or Western?
I think it might be Western. I'm not too sure, honestly.
Well,
Honest.
with just both the different cultures and stuff, it's be like, or Sony will be like, nah, because the Americans will ruin the the whole situation that we as Japanese people are bringing. And in all honesty, if we can both agree on this,
Uh-huh.
the Japanese does a better, like, in my opinion, again, does a way better job than the Americans in that sake.
What do you mean by that? Like by game releases or just
Yeah,
by
by game releases.
I could say this. They're amazing at storytelling. They're amazing at storytelling.
But like,
Japanese
okay, no,
companies
no,
are.
no. That about storytelling, that's something different because most of the like game exclusive games from Japanese systems then are written by American companies. That's no doubt in my mind. But
I don't know. I don't
but
know.
but the thing is, like, the games that come out from the Japanese kind of consoles, like Nintendo and thing.
Are you talking about like instead of like the way the game is made? Are you talking about leasing the game, like
Sort of.
production,
Sort
like
of.
production of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got nothing to do with the game's content. It's how they ship.
Yeah,
Is that what
like,
you're trying to say?
yeah, pretty much. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
they just release also better games. So I mean, they have a bigger market as well. Like,
I mean,
don't
you got Kingdom Hearts,
yeah, I mean,
insane, but it's
exactly.
also American and Japanese at once.
Yeah. I mean,
Final
it's
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, which is, well, actually, it's just like Japanese created like Kingdom Hearts and then made for English. But for example, like God of War again, that's which made by Santa Monica Studios. Like, and Uncharted, which been made by Naughty Dog.
Uh,
Um, so I mean, but they bring it on
Last
the
of
better.
Us, Naughty
They
Dog.
bring it on a system that says like, yo, we can bring the better exclusives. Because in all the years, okay, don't get me wrong, Xbox has a lot of good exclusives as well, but not as much as
I don't agree with that.
as the Japanese people, because like PS4 has a lot of good exclusive. Also, don't forget, like, okay, Nintendo and PlayStation is not a crossplay, but the Nintendo does really well. They have Pokemon, they have Smash, they have Mario, they have all these other kind of, like, kid friendly
Zelda. Can't forget Zelda.
Zelda, exactly. Like, they have so many good games that Japanese companies make, or like actually bring out
I
to
know
their
where you're coming
system.
from. They're good at creating characters. They're good at creating personas and that. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just about the game. And what I think what you're missing the point here is I'm not saying that um cross-play the exclusives. I think that's not right. You know, if the game's an exclusive, it's an exclusive and it
Yeah,
stays an
yeah, yeah,
exclusive. What I'm trying to say is you got games like Call of Duty,
yeah, yeah, for
Battlefield,
sure.
and all this,
I
and
mean,
these
but
are all
that's
available on these platforms. You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? And if you really are a fan of PlayStation or Sony, it shouldn't really matter
Nah,
what
it shouldn't
games.
really matter. But
You know,
yeah,
if you want it for the exclusive, then you're going to buy the console. Simple. Like my opinion, I don't really play single player games now.
yeah,
I kind of
exactly.
outgrew single players. So I thought, well, where am I going to get the most playability, more players, speak to more people? It's it's Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it is because I'm able to play with more than just you know one group of people. I can play with X, PC, Switch, mobile even. You know what I mean? I can play
Mm-hmm.
with bloody mobile players. So what I'm trying to say is keep your exclusives. Like I don't want to see God of War on Xbox. I don't want to see Last of Us on Xbox. I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to see Gears of War on PlayStation.
Yeah.
You know. All I want to see is the games that are available on all consoles, like Call of Duty, FIFA, Battlefield.
But that's the thing, I guess, with crossplay. Even though it would be so dope to actually play Call of Duty with, for example, Xbox players or like with PC players, then it's going to be an unfair advantage to the PC players because someone with a
Not really.
$10,000 rig with good internet, you cannot do anything.
I mean, look at Fortnite.
I mean, again, that's one of the things that's also like been like on my mind is Fortnite, which is fully capable of doing that.
It's because of the
But
system they've implemented. It's because of the building system.
yeah,
You can defend yourself, and that's the only reason. But what I'm trying to say here is, don't add PC into this thing, right? You need to remember, next generation is not just about controller support. Both of these consoles are going to need to have keyboard and mouse. They're going to need to. And that's just my opinion because Xbox has pushed so hard on this whole keyboard and mouse support over the last 6 months that if the new console does not have keyboard and mouse support from the very start, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. Because that's what they're trying to focus on. They're trying to focus on making this whole cross-platform thing
well, basically, what
doable.
they were actually trying to do is actually make a really cheap and affordable PC that you can only play for games, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And you need to remember, PlayStation isn't an entertainment system. Xbox is right now. It got made as a living room,
Oh yeah,
a living room entertainment system, whereas PlayStation went all out and went, "This is not an entertainment system. This isn't this or that. This is a console, built for all rooms."
yeah.
Whereas the Xbox is made for the living room, which really decreased the sales. You were forced to get like a £200 camera with a fucking console. Of course it's
Also,
going to sell
honestly,
badly to start.
like the price says it all as well. Like Xbox is way cheaper,
It is now. Before it wasn't. Remember, like when the
but
PlayStation and Xbox launched, it was a
like
£100 difference.
the price decreased like insanely fast. We can both agree on that.
Oh
That
yeah, but that's because they didn't add that fucking clunky ass camera.
yeah, true.
You know what I mean? They didn't add that camera, and all the speculation that was like, oh, Microsoft's going to keep an eye on you, this Connect and everything. Then that was an actual thing
Oh
because
yeah, really?
they wanted to like see if players were toxic, like how Overwatch does it. Overwatch actually, the people at Overwatch Blizzard actually keep an eye on players' Twitter, and if they see if they're being like toxic, they'll ban you on the game.
Huh? I
That's not
never
even
knew
a
that.
joke. That's not even a joke, by the way. It's a genuine thing. So Xbox was trying to do the same thing, but instead of like with like in the games, it was like the camera, and that's a huge data protection act,
True.
huge violation of data protection act,
Also,
and
like privacy, like
yeah, privacy rights, So that's why everyone was like, and plus, no one wants that clunky ass fucking Connect. They didn't release any games for it on the fucking 360. So what made them think they were going to do any better on the Xbox One?
yeah.
Whoever the CEO was before Phil Spencer needs to get slapped the fuck up, because honestly, he had no idea what he was doing. You know, he didn't. The fucking thing looked like a VHS player.
True.
It didn't look like a console at all. It looked ugly. The PlayStation for 2013 looked amazing. You've got a console that's slanted. Everyone's used to having like a flat console. This thing was fucking slanted, and you're like, oh, that looks like my fucking window ledge. That thing looks sick.
Yeah,
You know what I
true.
mean? And that's what was style, and the fact that they waited for Xbox to make all these announcements. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing how they handled it, and that's how they got and the price tag. However, you need to remember the PS3 was £600 when it launched.
Yeah. Okay. But that's also
Six
because
hundred.
don't need to
It was the
forget.
very first Blu-ray player as well. So that's a big price tag on it. It was
Mm-hmm.
switched from
Also,
DVD
it
to
was
Blu-ray.
backwards compatible, or some games like you could like put, for instance, a Ratchet
The
and Clank.
very first model was
Yeah, the very
very
first.
first
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
model, the 40
After
gig
that,
models.
it didn't support it anymore, unfortunately, because I really was actually stoked on that. But getting older and learning about the disk drives and like the lasers that read the disks, it wasn't able anymore. So
I mean, you think about it like this: the only reason Xbox and the developers made games better on that was because developers knew that it was 10 times easier to design a game on DVD. It's
yeah, true.
that simple. It's that simple. Like if they could design the game on DVD, then why the fuck would they go all the way out of the water to go? You know what?
For a
Why are
Blu-ray.
we designing this on a Blu-ray disc when we need to tone down the graphics anyway for the Xbox? Why don't we just make it the same?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where PlayStation lost the bet or the gamble because games didn't look any better on the PS3. They didn't play any better on the PS3 because they were made for DVD.
But the
If
thing about PlayStation was that you didn't have to have a um how do you call it again? Like a subscription?
yeah, you didn't have to have like Gold.
Yeah,
It was free online multiplayer.
PlayStation Plus right now. Like I don't mind buying it because like legit it's like you only pay it once a month or like once a year and like you're fine for a whole year. And you get free
But
games
they
on top.
somehow they've been like putting up the price every like 2 years.
Yeah, that is
That's the
true.
only issue. And the other thing is like, with just that, you need to remember there was no party chat.
No.
The only way you could party chat was in this chat room, which I'm not going to say anything bad about it because that's where I met Dan. I met Dan through a PlayStation chat room. PlayStation also had one of the greatest online interfaces of all time, PlayStation Home, in my opinion. You when you were bored of games and you were just tired out, you could go into homes. It was pretty much PlayStation's version of Sims,
Yeah, true.
and it was really fun to go in there and meet new people, speak to new
Couldn't you
people.
like see trophies and shit, like actual trophies, physical
Yeah,
trophies? Oh, that was so
yeah,
dope. I remember that.
yeah, it was awesome. So you could go in there and see all your trophy collection and platinums and all that. But the worst thing about PlayStation was its interface for its time. You look at the Xbox and it was so colorful, bright. It had so much different options. And then you
I mean,
looked
that
at
just
the
depends on the
PlayStation.
person. Like you could like
Yeah, yeah, like it does depend on the person, but at that time when you're a 13-year-old like me and you see an Xbox that's bright and colorful, or you see a PlayStation that is dull and boring,
I mean, that's
you
still
know what I mean?
debatable for me because like legit like you could change your background and make it as
Yeah, you
colorful
could change
or
your theme. Yeah, you could change your theme. I get that on like PS3's themes.com or something. I think that's what it was. I think that's what the website was.
or
But
just like a photo, like if you had an internet, like a picture from the internet or something, or or a USB drive, like you can
yeah,
easily just put it on the background. I think I have like a an anime and a pink-haired anime girl on my PS3 background right now.
I think I had a dynamic Vegeta one. Pretty sure it was Vegeta, and just powering up, and
That's so cool.
all the symbols were like Dragon Ball symbols.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So like instead of like just the Dragon Ball Z emblem, it was like the home button was like in the Dragon Ball Z writing, so it was like a little house and
Yeah, yeah,
writing.
yeah.
It looked pretty dope. But you didn't really get that on the Xbox, so I get that. That's a pretty good point. Also, five supported. You could share your account 5 times with friends. Xbox, you couldn't. You could only do it 3 times a year, and it was called a license transfer.
I mean, on PlayStation, it got better during the years, though, I guess, because you can only do it with one friend now. Well, you can still do it with multiple people, but you can still say like, "Yo, this one person can go on my account and buy and or like get my games with no problem." Pretty much.
Yeah, and it's gotten to a point now
But
where
during the years, because PlayStation 3 was free, and like every game you had, you could just go and download it from a friend if you
yeah,
still had their account on primary. So pretty much, you could share your account with people, but you could not always like, oh, I need to put Jake for example. Like I have like a friend Jake or something, and like a friend Brian. Like they I have both their accounts and shit. They both have different games. But if I
Yeah,
want to play Jake's games, then I need to make Jake primary, and then I can only play his games, but I cannot play with Brian's games. You know,
yeah, yeah.
which still was a good system in my opinion, and it still is. Like it saves a lot of money if you really have a close friend that also plays like you.
I
Um,
mean, me and Ryan shares accounts, but I don't really play much of his games.
mm,
But that's my downside to it, is because obviously with the people I game shared with, a lot of the time they barely played games, so I felt like I was losing a lot of money.
yeah,
Because you need to remember, I have like 245
yeah, you had an insane
games or
amount of
something
games.
on my PS4,
You had an insane
and
amount of games.
yeah, and I've got like 154 on my Xbox.
Mhm,
So that's like what? That's over 300 games.
mhm.
And then my PC, I actually calculated this. This is why I actually mainly got rid of my PC. I had my PC for like a year and a half, right? And I was counting, and I was like,
Yeah, hold on, people. He's
"There's a
there.
lot of noise."
Yeah, okay. There's a lot of noise during the podcast, so excuse me for that. But no, I get what Cheese is saying exactly.
I'll be 2 seconds, guys.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just keep talking. Um, but the thing is, like he got an insane amount of games. Um, but he got addicted to so much games. But that's really like his story and shit. Like I don't want to speak out to that. Um, but the thing is, the crossplay thing isn't a bad idea. It totally not. It isn't a bad idea for the generic games like Call of Duty and like other games that are that are on all systems, like Fortnite or like Apex, because Apex doesn't also support crossplay, if I'm not mistaken. But still, it would be really dope actually to play with a friend on Apex with a PlayStation controller and with a PC controller. The only downside that I would think um, having this problem would be that PC players have a better chance at the game. I mean, again, Fortnite is a great example, and they have the building system, and if you actually are skilled, then you have no problem with any of it. Basically, like you don't have a problem with any of it. You can easily outbuild everyone and stuff, but that's not how it should work. Like for example, like if you get a gunfight with a player on Call of Duty, and all of a sudden you are walking behind him, um, you shoot at him, and with a flick of his wrist, he could easily be shooting you in the back with no problem. And
Is this like console versus PC?
I'm talking about the crossplay.
Yeah.
Like pretty much like I'm not saying no to the crossplay because that would be insanely dope. I could actually play games with, for example, you who
Yeah.
is on Xbox, and me who is on PlayStation most of the time. But like for examples, like a lot of games would be really disadvantage for PC players. Then again, like if just Xbox and PlayStation did it, that would be totally fine with me. Like for example, like but well, we'll just leave Fortnite out of this because like you can even play with Switch users and mobile users, which is insane to me. Um, but still, again, that's what the story I am actually telling. Like for a game like Call of Duty, it would be insanely if you are trained on PC. It would be like you are in such a disadvantage against a PC player because he could just flick his wrist, he be 180, turn around, and actually already be on you and lasering you with a better frames per second, with a better.
I mean, that's not really true.
I mean, it is kind of true.
You got aim assist. They don't.
That is true, but I mean, yeah.
And I've played on the PC with just a controller. And I can tell you something, I done better than half the players on PC in Call of Duty. And that's me not even lying to you. Half the players, I would go into every lobby and drop at least 30 kills. I played better on the PC with a controller than what I did on a console. And that's me being totally honest with you. Because it's completely different. It's aim assist. You know what I mean? They don't have any aim assist, so they've got to have precision. You got to be really good. Like, you got to be a shroud to hit every single bullet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, right? So you need to remember the average PC player, right, isn't
Mm-hmm.
going to have 100% accuracy. But if you're talking about someone who has played the PC for like 10 plus years, maybe 5 years plus, sure, they're going to have a great shot. They're going to have this, that, and the next thing. But you need to remember wear and tear is also a thing with mouse. So as soon as your mouse starts fucking up, you got to buy another mouse. You got to get used to that mouse. As soon as your keyboard starts fucking up, you got to do that. You got to make your binds. You got to do this, that, the next thing. There's a lot more to keyboard and mouse, and there's a lot more disadvantages than what there is to just a controller. Because a controller is a controller. If you sell it, if it breaks, you could just buy another one that's the exact same. Keyboard and mouse, however, is completely different. You can buy the same ones, but you don't want the same problem to happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I
And
can
that's just my
understand that
opinion.
though, but like with me, it's just with the frames, with the frame shit.
You know what I mean? That's my controller, right? Buttons at the back, right?
Uh huh.
That's my controller. My controller breaks, I buy the exact same controller with buttons in the back. There's no issue. My mouse breaks, I gotta buy another mouse. And remember, I was playing Paladins, I broke my mouse. And I had to pick up another mouse. However, for some reason, I did play better with that mouse, but maybe it's because it was my old mouse. It was my old mouse, to be fair. So I did use it before. Maybe it was just the way I was using the
I
other
mean, in
mouse.
all honesty, I got a new mouse as well. I got rid of my old Razer one that I got from a friend.
Mhm.
And I got a new one, and I have been playing like PC games better with that new mouse, but that's, I think, just placebo, or like just like in it, pretty much something mental that says like, you with a new mouse, I feel confident, I
Maybe.
guess.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
But again, am I saying no to crossplay? Hell no. Like, crossplay,
No.
more than welcome. Please, someone at some studio make this happen. But then again, with, like, for example, Call of Duty, then there would be a lot of problems with the DLC releases, like, because PlayStation gets them a month earlier.
A week earlier.
No, 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 a month. Is it
It's a
just a
week.
week now?
It's just a week.
Well, fuck it then. Next Call of Duty, just fucking scrap the idea. Just fucking give crossplay and do shit. Like, do it proper. Give everyone the DLC
um,
at the same time. Jesus.
I know. Just do it. It's just a week. It's just a week now.
I mean, that's bullshit. I didn't even know. I thought it was still a month.
No, it's a week, man. It's a week.
I mean, of course, I'm from the good old days where Black Ops 2 was still Xbox and Advanced Warfare was still Xbox, and we had to wait
You
a
know
month.
something that's strange though? I still think that the old Xbox games like Black Ops 2, Black Ops, MW2, they're just so much better than the new ones. I don't know why. Like,
Well,
fair
that's
dues, Black
another
Ops 3.
topic for another day, maybe, or like we can talk
Totally.
about it. Like, I can totally talk. But the thing is,
I mean,
like,
we're talking about crossplay, so imagine how well they were back in the day, right? All the map packs were apart from like Black Ops 2 and that Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare, and Black Ops. They were all. I'm positive. No, Black Ops was the start of the Xbox one, wasn't it? Because PlayStation had the exclusive rights before on Modern Warfare 2. That's what it was. Because you had the resurgency
no,
back.
Black Ops 1, the tournament still ran on PS3. I
Yeah,
think it's, yeah, I'm 100% sure.
it did. It did. You're right because Scump says that he won his first tournament, Black Ops One, Black Ops One, and it was the PS3.
Yep.
You're right. You're right.
And then I
And a
think
lot of people preferred
Modern
that
Warfare
controller.
3 Modern Warfare 3 starting, it went to Xbox and then stayed that way for Black Ops 2, Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and then it was Black Ops 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again got back to PlayStation with Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 got the rights. And then
Black Ops
IW
4. Because
what
Black Ops 3 got the rights on PlayStation.
to PlayStation, yeah, and then Infinite Warfare
One,
got to play.
two, 1, 2, 3 years,
Uh-huh.
right? And that's how long the contract was. And then the fourth year, which was Black Ops 4, PlayStation's got it still.
Yeah. Or like just it's shortened for a week, which honestly
Yeah.
just bring it down. I mean, if it's really that difficult, just bring it out on the same day. Why because the DLC is ready. We both know the DLC is ready. Why does
Yeah.
Xbox just need to wait a week for the release then? That's stupid.
I think, I don't know, it's just exclusive rights. Pay for it.
I
To
mean,
pay for
I
it.
guess, but
But this is the thing that annoys me, right? The only reason it annoys me because Epic, right? They're the only people who crossplay with PlayStation, right?
uh-huh.
Epic. Why? Because Epic gave them a shit ton of money. Why do they need a shit ton of money to crossplay? It's just greed, in my opinion.
I mean,
That is
sure.
my opinion.
I mean,
It's
that's how
greed.
corporations work in
Yeah, but if
today's
you
age.
were a company thinking, all right, how can we make this better? You know what I mean? These people have already
They're
got, like,
just gonna think about
look
their
at,
own pockets. We both know that. Like they're just
yeah, we know that, but look, this is the last year of this generation. Why don't they just go, right, everyone's got their consoles, no one care about buying an Xbox or a PlayStation, let's just make it cross-platform. In the last year.
I mean, it would be a good stress test, I guess, to the next era of gaming,
Exactly.
or the next couple of years of games. But I mean, again, that's not gonna happen, unfortunately, because Sony be like, or like, I don't even know what's going on between that. Like, I think Sony just says like, nah, because I think again they're just scared of losing the exclusivity about the games. But then again, that's a totally different story again.
They just
Uh,
need to write a contract and say, look, we don't want Uncharted this, that, and
2080, huh? Like some contracts go today's day.
yeah, there you go. We want 20% on our fucking good have.
Yikes! Sorry, Tifu, if you ever would watch this, I'm sorry. It's no shame for you. I mean,
He's
whatever.
not gonna watch this.
Shh, you don't know that, okay? Nah.
Tish.
But to sum this up, should crossplay be a thing? Yes,
100%.
100%. But they just need to figure out what the best solution for all games, or like,
You know what the best solution is? I've already told you. Next generation, keyboard and mouse or gamepad support. That's it sorted.
true.
Let us use keyboard and mouse. Don't be shitebags. You know, even on the PS3, you had keyboard and mouse support for Unreal Tournament. It was the only game that had keyboard and mouse support. Actually, Quake Wars. Quake Wars had keyboard and mouse support.
I did not know that.
2 games had keyboard and mouse support on the PlayStation 3. And then, oh, Dust 514. Dust 514 had keyboard and mouse support. So why in this generation not being continued outside PlayStation? I don't know. You know, even Microsoft don't even have microphone.
Probably just because of money. Like you make more money with selling 2 consoles instead of buying the quote unquote better one. Because in the end, gaming is gaming, and you know. But again, a lot of old and generous and like greedy people that work in these companies, or like corporations, like are like, we just need money. We want more money. We want to dry your bank account. We don't give a fuck about the games. We don't give a fuck about how you would like it. We just want your money in our pockets, and that's it. And that
And
sucks.
for the one thing with crossplay that would really help is the esports industry.
True.
100%. And I spoke about this like 2 years ago with a colleague of mine at my old job. And me and him turned around and says, right, here's the deal. Just have it on like multiplayer games, right? And instead of having a whole PlayStation League or an Xbox League, have two divisions, an Xbox division and a PlayStation division. Now, these are both leagues that you will like play throughout like the summer or winter and get your final standings. The top 10 teams or the top 20 teams from each league then go into a knockout bracket, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
20 teams, 10 teams on each side, and it's 10 teams, 5 Xbox, 5 PlayStation, right? And they all go against each other. And then the final has to be an Xbox and PlayStation team. So then at the end, it's going to be a cross-platform final. You know, that's just what I'm trying to say.
Would
I'm
be pretty
trying to say
cool.
that, like,
Would be pretty
that,
cool.
like, fair dues, if you come against, like, two Xbox teams in the final, then it's two Xbox teams in the final. But then you've got losers bracket. Whoever comes out a losers bracket and wins, comes up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's so much endless possibilities, esports wise, uh, just selling wise. And I now figured out in my head why they probably don't have keyboard and mouse support, because you could buy a keyboard for a tenner and a mouse for a fiver. You buy a PlayStation controller for 50 quid. What would you rather make? 50 quid or a tenner?
I mean, I would know it as well, but then again, that's what I said. This is just because of money. Because a lot
It's
of
all about money.
companies, it's all about money, and that's the sad part. But because we gamers get punished for this,
Oh, 100%.
we gamers get punished for this
110%.
because we do not get our will or what we want as people, as good
No?
heart or most like good-hearted people that just wants to have a fun time and relax, and we don't get that because we need to buy this and we need to buy that and we need to buy this and we need to buy that. And
Totally.
yeah, I mean, it sucks because, I just want like a whole community or like just like overall be that gamers are gamers. We are what we are. There would not be a console war in my ideal gaming world, I guess.
So
I mean,
both of us agree.
don't get me wrong, like the console rivalry is kind of funny. It's kind of funny to me. Like, PlayStation is better. No, Xbox is better. No,
See,
PlayStation.
but then that's where like the rivalry only grow. It would
Yeah.
only grow if you made crossplay, because, like I just said, if you have competitions where it's Xbox versus PlayStation, it's going to grow. It's going to grow so much that people are going to be not just fanboying, fucking fangirling over this. It's going to be like a One Direction concert. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
That's what it would be like. It'd be fucking crazy. Or a Slipknot concert, people moshing in the fuck it, that's what PlayStation, fuck you, fuck him, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it would be crazy, and it's only going to everything. So listen, the end of this topic, me and Matt both agree. Crossplay has to come in the near future.
It has to
My
be a thing.
opinion, it has to come. If your plan is to also I'm not sure what's happened. I don't know if I'm still in the call.
Yeah, you are. You're fine.
Okay. Sorry about that. My laptop kind of like glitched out for some reason. But yeah. So it has to be crossplay. If you're wanting the PC to be involved, you have to use mouse and keyboard to support. And if Sony and Xbox, if you want to make money, then just make your own mouse and keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as, and only make your consoles be able to take that mouse and keyboard. Don't let third party devices do that, because we all know it already exists, because Xbox does it with a Kinect. They do it with the Infinity platforms and the Skylander platforms. You
Yeah.
can't use any other consoles platforms on an Xbox, but you can do it on the Xbox or on the PlayStation or the Nintendo Wii. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's so easy to fix this. It's so fucking easy. You
True.
just need to realize it, and he needs to go, you know what, I think it will work.
True. For the people that would
I
be
think it
listening
will
to the
work.
for the people that would be listening to the podcast, um, welcome again. Leave a comment. What would you think that would help the situation of crossplay? Because like I said, me and Cheese are in one of an agreement. We just want it, so we can play with friends from different consoles and actually, not being little corporate assholes and like say like this gaming should be gaming, and you know
Gaming should be gaming.
if you have a different opinion on this topic, please leave a comment. We can talk about this in the next another podcast, or touch on this in in the next podcast, um and see where, give us your opinions. If you like it,
Not
leave.
just that. Not just that. Before you do finish off this segment, and whilst we're speaking like this, if you have an opinion and you want to share your opinion, just ask to be in the podcast.
Yeah,
Simple.
sure.
Just ask to be in the podcast, and we can sit down and speak with you. We'll give you our opinions. You can
Like
give us your opinion.
follow, like you can go to our pages, or like our Twitter, our Instagram, or whatever.
Since it's your podcast, just link your Twitter down below. I've got my podcast. If you want to check out my links, Matt will leave
Yeah,
my
I
podcast and
will link it.
Mikey's
I will link
in the channel. So just go to Matt's, because Matt should be in charge of whoever he's going to host. I also host my own guests on my podcast, well, the Tip Top and Talk podcast. But this is essentially my second podcast channel. So and me and Matt's got amazing chemistry. So that's all you need to know. Simple.
True. So if you just want to leave an opinion or say your thoughts, just leave it at our pages. But that leads us to the next topic that we wanted to talk about.
These crisps are fucking amazing, by the way. I just thought, you know,
You should
they're
not be
so good.
eating during the podcast, though. It's annoying.
I mean, you can't hear it. Right, let's go.
Okay, next topic. We also
Fuck the crisps.
during the first talk that we had, or like talk about crossplay, we stumbled upon the thing called Google, or like the Google console, or like
Stadia, I think.
Stadia, whatever it could be. Would this be the game changer? Would this be like, is this gonna replace Xbox and PlayStation altogether?
No. No. No way.
Because I have a fear, and I have like a thought of this could be the end of Xbox and PlayStation, just because they are just gonna work together, and they're just gonna bring the games out that's, generally speaking, are just gonna come out on that system or on that platform, whatever. So it would be a unification of both systems, which would be good, but it would mean PlayStation and Xbox would gotta go.
I mean, they're not making their own console, PlayStation, Xbox. That's essentially all it is. So, like, all your downloads and all that, PlayStation and Microsoft. So, like, all your, like, 360 games, Xbox One games, PlayStation games will possibly be available on both consoles. That's the difference. There's no crossplay, no this, no that. Essentially, they're just giving each other their games, apart from exclusives, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from exclusives. So, like, the games on Xbox Live, it's free to download, be able to download it on PlayStation. Same on the other side. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all licenses they'll probably trade and offer, but I don't think that it's going to go as far as where we're going to see like a Playbox 20. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to see a Playbox anytime soon. Which, to be honest, that's what Google should have called it, the Google Playbox.
Cool.
Because
yeah, actually, yeah, that would be.
they should have called it that. Because if you call it that, you've got the mobile games, your AAA games. But my only problem here is we've already seen this, and it's already failed. The Nvidia Shield. It's already failed. It doesn't do fuck all. The Nvidia Shield is a thing, right?
I do not
You know
know.
what? So then the Nvidia Shield is essentially about the house, right?
Uh-huh.
And no matter where you are, Like as long as your PC's on, like internet connection, and you take your thing over a house,
Out.
out over to someone else's house that's got Wi-Fi, you can essentially connect this thing to your Steam and play any games on it with this controller.
Oh, the weird disc or like.
No,
Fuck.
that's a Steam box. That's a Steam box.
Oh,
But this thing's an Nvidia Shield. It can play mobile games and there's different stuff.
kind of.
But this, yeah, but yeah, have a little look at it after this or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like that's what the Stadia is trying to do, and Google's got a lot of money. That's what you need to look out for. Is Google has a lot of money, probably more than Microsoft and PlayStation. I mean, and I'm saying that in all seriousness,
Mm-hmm.
like Xbox and PlayStation will not have the money to compete with. You need to remember, Liz, we got the Google Pixel, which how much revenue does that pull in? The Pixel 2. We've got YouTube, YouTube Red, YouTube Music. It's so much different content creators. They all run ads. They're making money every single day. Whereas like the PlayStation that are making deals, they're losing money to gain money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas Google isn't doing that. Google is constantly, rapidly making money. You know, they got Google Fiber. They've got this. They've got that. They're just genius. Google's just literally genius. You know, and the only thing that scares me, the only thing that scares me the most is we're going to see not just a console war, an all-out war between consoles, and be the end of every console.
Hmm.
Because it's just going to be developers are going to strike too much. The corporations are too needy for what they want, and it's just easier to make games for Steam. You know, and that's my honest opinion. That's what I'm kind of scared of. Is if we start seeing more consoles coming into the fray.
But then again, why are like, for example, Apex Legends, which is a really popular game now, and Fortnite, like Epic Games, why do they have separate stores then if they know Steam is this successful or popular, or like, Google in general?
I mean, because Steam takes a huge percentage of your games.
But they're both free.
Right, that's true. But you need to remember, like, it's not just that they're free. It's like if EA put all their games onto Steam, they're going to lose most of their money because Steam's wanting money for that. Steam's not just a place, remember. Steam's a company. It's Valve. Valve also make games like Half-Life, Half-Life 2, Left 4 Dead. Well, not Left 4 Dead. They produced Left 4 Dead because that was Turtle Rock. And that's probably one of the reasons why they stopped making Left 4 Dead was because Valve was like taking all their money.
Hmm.
You know, and you need to remember that, like, you're not just going to get it for free, you know. Put deals on it and they put it really cheap. Whereas if you make your own store and you put it for whatever price you want, then you don't need to change it. Whereas if Steam doesn't see your game selling well, they've got every right to reduce the price.
I mean, I guess, but still, I mean,
A
but that
microtransaction.
doesn't
Never.
like answer my question. Like, will this Google Trida or whatever Tridia
Stadia.
Stadia? Fuck, I always forget the name. Jesus Christ, it does not fucking catch my brain. Um, will this just replace the consoles?
No,
But
there's
then,
no way it will.
but then they're just gonna make another console to put
It's
in
got
the.
to fail. It's got to flop. I'm telling you, it's got to flop.
I mean, with the
That's
PlayStation 5 coming out pretty soon, around what, next year, in 2 years maybe? Like, I don't know. Why would you even buy another console? Or
here's the thing.
unless there would be like insane amount of like exclusives on that would like pull generations from like Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox all together and like I mean, if it would only be a single player console, then kudos to them. Like, sure, take your. So then the bigger consoles can focus on their multiplayer games, I guess, and then work on crossplay better. But still, that would mean the end. Then we need to buy another console to play, for example, my favorite series, Kingdom Hearts, which I'm wearing a shirt of, or God of War. So, I mean, yeah, it's really difficult for me because I legit won't know how this new console will work out.
Yeah. Um, I mean, the only thing that I can see them getting like crazy exclusives on is like your mobile games right now. They can maybe give these developers a lot of money and be like, "We
I mean,
in
legit,
game, but AAA."
the two biggest mobile games I can think of off the top of my head is PUBG and Fortnite.
Clash of Clans, uh, Coin Master, whatever it's called.
Really,
Uh,
people still play that?
yeah. You've got Candy Crush. You've got
Candy Crush.
Sword Art Online games that are very, very used. Tokyo Ghoul, Dark War. Uh,
Those
the
are just
MOBAs that's available.
those are just mobile games that like I guess companies produced or like fans even made. They're not major AAA titles for mobile. You know,
I mean, look at Flappy Bird. I would class that as a AAA title.
Flappy Bird. I mean, Angry Bird, sure. Flappy Bird?
No, 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 no. Flappy Bird, because you need to remember Flappy Bird, dude, a millionaire. And he was a college student, dude. He was a college student that released an app on the App Store, and he made so much money. So much money. He became like a billionaire and he deleted it. And like people that were like selling iPhones with Flappy Bird on it was getting like thousands of pounds.
True.
So that's why I would
that's actually
class.
insane to think about. Actually, if you
Yeah,
if you still
exactly.
had Flappy
So
Bird, your phone is like the insane amount of worth more. That's insane.
it's the same with PlayStation and Xbox with PT.
Yeah, true.
If you still got PT on your
Wait, was that on
PlayStation,
Xbox as well?
yes, I'm pretty sure it was.
I need to Google that because I thought it was only on
Yeah,
PlayStation.
yeah, same actually. I'm sure it was because it's a Silent Hill. Oh well, my browser's kind of fucked, but um, uh, was the PT demo available?
Oh yeah, I think I see it.
Xbox.
PT on Xbox One. Silent Hill purchased by Microsoft.
Oh no, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. It was just in the PlayStation.
That's what I thought, though. I wasn't sure.
It was just a PlayStation console game. What? I did not know that. That's probably why they stopped making it.
Why?
Because one of the directors was Hideo Kojima, and
So,
after he was in production of Metal Gear Solid 5, obviously he was producing Metal Gear Solid 5 at the time of PT. He used most of their money, so then they had to develop in PT, right? So then after all that would have happened, he would have got the boot, and then there we go. Hideo Kojima's out. You don't have one of the directors, and maybe the other guy stepped down.
could be. I'm not a big fan of horror games, though, so I mean, I don't really mind. Even though the game looked sick. But
But there's too much games like it. If PT released it, would have been one of the greatest.
true. True.
I mean, oh god.
But then again, like going back to the topics that we like I was talking about, like would
Yeah,
this
yeah.
also influence the esports because we both are esports enthusiasts. We both like the esports side of things. We don't like regular sports, or like at least I don't. As you can well see by my physique, I
Uh
don't
huh.
really care for sports. But would this change the esports side? Because can you imagine, like for example, in a couple of years, this Stadia came out, and then COD also becomes a thing for that. What?
Well, from what I'm seeing here, with you just mentioned, so Google is mainly on is mobile games, right?
Yeah.
This is truly the best mobile esports. Legends,
Oh,
Bam Bam, Mobile Legends, Bam Bam is the MOBA. It is a MOBA, right? Arena of Valor, and I did not know Hearthstone,
yeah. Hearthstone is also on mobile.
but it's
That's
an
true.
esport on mobile.
Huh? I did not know that as well. Huh?
And this is apparently on the esport ranks, right? But this is what we need to look at, right? Simple. Google might just turn around and be like, you know what, let's put keyboard and mouse support. That's what people want. This, that, the next thing. I mean, PUBG Mobile has got has got its own esport here as well. That I can see £200,000 to the champions who won it for PUBG Mobile. You know what I mean? Even the normal PUBG doesn't even have that much esport.
True.
You know, and I think what they need to do and understand, Microsoft and Sony, is this is not a big rivalry. You need to remember when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out, how much games was there to start off with?
Not many.
Yeah, so for this console to be successful and to beat PlayStation and Microsoft, they're going to need to somehow. You can't hear the background noise, can you?
A bit, but it's not loud.
Okay, so they're going to need to have a shit ton of games launched to
But I
even
mean,
get someone to look towards that direction.
but for example, like for the things like COD and like maybe a Battlefield and maybe a what's another like really generic game that everybody can play on both consoles?
Fortnite,
Fortnite. Like even though
PUBG,
PUBG, yeah, I guess
it's on both consoles. It's kind of generic now.
Apex, like Apex Legends and shit. So that's like what 6 games or so. Like it's just like the single player games that actually would count. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Xbox One came with fuck. What was it called? What was the like? It was a Roman game. Like it
Oh,
was
Rise,
Rise.
Son of
Yeah,
Rome.
Son of Rome. That was like one of the first titles that I heard of exclusive for Xbox One.
Fucking shit game, by the way.
Exactly, but it didn't sell as good as what came out on PS4. I don't remember what came out first on.
Infamous Second Son, Knack.
Yep.
No, Second Son didn't come out. Actually, that came out a bit later, I think.
No, no,
Knack.
no. It came out.
Okay, Knack, Infamous Second Son, Killzone Shadowfall.
I mean, Killzone
Uh,
Shadowfall wasn't a big hit for the multiplayer, but it was a big hit for the single player.
yeah, but do you know why? Just quickly putting this in for Shadowfall since about it. The reason it wasn't a big hit was because a guy filed a lawsuit on Guerrilla Games. That's why there's no more Killzones, because he put a lawsuit in on it because he actually figured out that they actually lied about the 60 FPS in the multiplayer, and that's why it was so clunky and it felt like you were actually lagging. You weren't lagging; it was because they scaled up the FPS and it made the game feel like you weren't playing at 60 frames a second.
Oh damn!
They faked it. So this guy like managed to figure this all out. It wasn't 1080p; it was upscaled. The frames were upscaled, and that's what made the multiplayer so kind of buggy because they couldn't make it native 1080p with 60 frames a second.
Damn, I did not know that. I mean, that sucks though.
So yeah, yeah,
Because
that's
like
very
Killzone
close.
3 was one of the best multiplayer games that I have ever played.
Oh yeah, easy,
And one of
easy.
the first, even like legit. Like I think I even played Killzone 3 way more than Call of Duty back in the day. And that's insane to think about, in all honesty. Me being such a big Call of Duty guy, in all honesty, and then not like doing that shit. I mean,
I mean, you played Destiny more than COD.
yeah, fair enough. Well,
I mean,
my days
slightly.
my days played on COD, like all combined, are like insane.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it like a months,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because obviously, like throughout later World War II was shit. So you played Black Ops 3 for how long?
Complete year. I played
Exactly.
We even went back to IW because I actually found an IW like okay. I know a lot of people are gonna hate on this, but IW was legit one of the best multiplayers of the whole COD. Like all COD. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but basically, it was so much fun to look at and so much fun to play with. If you knew like what
Mm,
was going on and shit, that game was so good. Even though there was like a meta and with only K bars and NV4s and with E-rats and shit, which sucked, but still you could play with any weapon and have good amount of fun because I'm not gonna say that I played it more than Black Ops 3 because Black Ops 3 is still one of my favorites too, or like the number one for me. But IW is like a second for me. It's like the second thing for me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Because a lot of people as well like disagree with me on that because the come of World War II was apparently for them the holy saint of all Call of Duty. World War II brought it back. World War II is the best game there was. It honestly wasn't, in my opinion, because it was so unbalanced. But that's again another
It
topic,
was a
maybe.
piece of shit game.
Exactly. But I mean, that's I guess another topic for like a legit Call of Duty dedicated podcast, which this is not gonna be like. Um, but for the Stadia, the Google Stadia, is it welcome? Sure. Why the fuck not? But
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it is it
It's
if
welcome.
it's is it gonna be the next big thing? I don't know. In my
I
opinion,
mean,
it
it just
won't.
depends on the launch.
It will depend
Depends
on
on
the
the launch.
launch and
But
on what games they
in my
will release on
opinion,
that.
in my honest opinion, I think it will flop.
I mean, could very well be. In all honesty, like we don't
Yeah.
know honestly. Uh, but yeah, I think that's gonna be running up this podcast though. Had a lot of topic. Went off topic a couple of times especially on the last part. A little bit on for a little bit of a shame, but I mean it's fine, I guess. Um,
I mean, it's not really a shame. That's what podcasts are about.
true, true. Um, again for the topic to summarize the topics, is crossplay welcome? Hell yeah. Is Google Stadia welcome? Sure. Is it gonna work? Probably not. But we'll see, I
Well,
guess.
sure, but no.
Sure, but no. Sure, but no. Yeah, yeet.
Make sure to check out my channel. Not the Cheota channel, the new podcast channel. Check out
Yeah, yeah.
that there.
I will leave.
Tip top,
I will leave
tip top and
every
talk.
link that we talked about. Like for example, Cheese's link to his new podcast. I will most definitely link that in the description when this get uploaded. You can again if you have feedback, if you have something to like, if you have your own opinion, please tweet me. Please fucking post it in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Even like it legit helps. Feedback is feedback. We don't care. I don't care. I do this for fun. Legit. I don't even
No,
have subs. Like if people just come and watch and don't even subscribe, sure. Why the fuck not? Like
it's a hobby.
it's a hobby. I'm not gonna get. Oh, I'm so frustrated because people are having a other opinion. Like, no, I don't care. Like, legit, I do this for fun. I do this with Cheese because we like to talk. I don't speak
And
to him
also,
very
we're
often.
not bitches.
True. And like we are on here. We like to talk. We don't speak very often, and I like to talk with him about our opinions and on shit. So this is a really good midway for both of us, I guess. I get to
Yeah,
speak to Cheese more often, and I have fun doing this.
exactly, my good friend.
Exactly. So again, thank you all for listening. If you were watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. I hope we weren't too boring. I think podcasts are more for listening anyway, in my opinion. I love listening to
Yeah,
podcasts.
you
Uh,
gotta.
you
I
gotta,
mean,
you
the only
gotta.
entertaining part in the video was
You muting and you leaving and me being an idiot.
yeah, yeah. So I'd rather you just listen. To be quite honest,
Nah,
I
but
had to leave because family was
mhm,
shouting at me
mhm.
for a Sky password
Damn.
that I
That's.
didn't even fucking know.
But
You know,
anyways, thank you, Cheese, for joining. Your links will be in the description, as
as always.
always. It was a pleasure talking to you again. And yeah, this
You
has
too.
been your boy Matt and Cheese. And we will see you in the next podcast.
Bang bang, bitch.
Deuces.